right, we are live. Welcome back, everyone. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Just getting things going here. Out of Friday. After watching some Impact Wrestling. What a show. What a show. But before we jump into all that, I want to remind you, fine folks, that it is still flipping cold outside. And I don't know why nobody told me this, but hey, not their job, I guess. So I'll throw up the big A for the big apology here. I did not realize that the link in the description for the merch wasn't working. In fact, it wasn't a link, a functional link. And it's in the description. So, you want to support the podcast, show your friends who you're listening to and watching on YouTube for wrestling podcasts. The new link is in the description. Oh, man. Because, baby, it's cold outside. We chatta. It's Eugene Evans. What is up? J-Bone, it's Wade. What's up, brother? What a show tonight. Yes, what show. Holy cow. Oh, so much happening in the world of Impact Wrestling. Welcome, Eugene. Also want to remind you guys that if you don't stick around for all this, or if you do happen to come late, the video version of this will be up later on rantwithant.com, as we are a part of the family and I provide for them the Impact Wrestling content also as a part of that. And the Wrestle Addict Radio on iTunes, FM, and several other podcast formats wherever you get your audio. Later this weekend, the audio version of this will be up. So if you know someone who listens to wrestling podcasts and you introduce them to a fine new family of wrestling podcasts, Wrestle Addict Radio, folks, is where we got the Kings of the Rings. We got the Gift of Podcast. We've got Nacho Mama's Soap Opera. We also have the Fourth Wall Podcast. And along, last but certainly not least, myself doing the Impact Wrestling Review every week. Audio version also on Anchor FM, iTunes, and many other formats. Yeah, let's get into this. I apologize that this is kind of late at night. I didn't jump in right after the show because I did want to see the interview with Crimson. And I was very, very happy to see him on there. Oh, and here's a bit of news. I'll get into that in a minute, Sting. That's a very interesting piece of news. I'll get to that in a minute. Crimson was holding the Salute to the Troops show that's going to be going on April 12th, in part with Tried and True Pro Wrestling. And it's primarily for the military, but it is going to be also free to the public. The only catch is it's going to be on a military base, and you have to get a civilian pass to get on the base for that show. So you have to pass a background check. So little, but still, salute to the troops. And he was talking about it as he is formerly military. At least I think he's formerly military. But he is still part of the military community. down there in Clark. I believe we said Clarksville, Tennessee. Tremendous, tremendous. April 12th. And for those who are not live at the show and want to watch it, it will air a month in May on Twitch TV, on Impact Wrestling's Twitch channel. So great news there. No card details, just and the title of the event, Salute to the Troops. It's, for the troops, and it's just great. It's wonderful to see. Now, this little piece of news that just showed up in my chat. So early review, but thank you guys. This is very interesting. Critical Sting says, "Did you hear about Lance?" And I was like, usually when you hear that, you instantly start thinking like negative things. It's like, oh no, God, what happened? Does he say what? He says he's going to be a producer for the Windsor tapings. Wow, that is incredible. So he's going to be helping out backstage at the Impact tapings in Windsor. That's in like 2 weeks in March, I believe. Something like that. And then for those tapings, those episodes are going to lead into WrestleMania weekend. So, not sure if they're going to have, like I said, the United We Stand is very interesting because it's one of those things that they're going to promote it on their show, but I don't know how much of they're actually going to be doing wrestling wise involvement for that special show on that weekend. So, but nonetheless, it still looks going to be a hell of a card. And this is hot cocoa, by the way, if anybody's curious. Pardon my little slurpage there. It's late. I'm tired. Long day. We're going to try to get through this as best and as possible. Hey, at least you're not going to get any beer burps tonight, right, folks? I haven't had a beer in like over a month. Gosh. It's turning over a new leaf. Lots of water. Oh, it's just hey, sometimes I'm really in the mood for it. Sometimes I'm just not, Your body changes, your life changes. That's what happens. New match was just promoted. I can't remember if I already talked about this or not. Though I don't think I did. This came up yesterday. New match promoted for United We Stand, coming up April, I believe it's all part of WrestleMania weekend. Everyone and anyone is doing a show that weekend. The Knockouts title match that weekend. Fatal 4-way, I believe. It's going to be Taya defending against Rory, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's Jordan Grace, Taya Rosemary, Jordan Grace, and the debut of Katie Forbes, a.k.a. Chloe Hertz, that I was watching wrestle right before Impact Wrestling on WOW Women of Wrestling. Tremendous season finale, by the way. I'll bring that soon. Not going to do it tonight. Got my hands full enough with this. So yeah, I haven't seen Chloe wrestle a ton. I've seen a few of her matches, primarily on Women of Wrestling. And I wouldn't say she's like the greatest wrestler, but I kind of look at her like, I mean, she's a taller girl. I'll say a la China. Okay. Um, so her in ring stuff is going to be different than say an alley. Okay. But still decent skills. I was happy with what I saw in the ring with her matches. Yes, everybody's saying the obvious. She's or no, I'll tell you, she's tied with RVD. She's RVD's woman, and RVD would be a part of that show. So I'm sure there was a little shoe in from him saying, "Hey, let's bring her on as part of the." Now I haven't. Now this is her debut for Impact, like I said, but I don't know if she's joining the roster, like going to be signing a deal. I think it'd be great. Why not? Add to the knockouts. Um, add to the knockouts division because we may be losing a knockout soon. We'll get to that in a little bit. Critical Sting in the chat says, felt so good to hear Rosemary's theme again in 2019. Just saying. Yeah, dude. Smash that like button if you are happy to see Rosemary wrestling again on Impact Television. And re-signed a deal. I don't know if there's so many signings and contract changes and all this stuff. My head is spinning. There's so much going on. They also reported live tonight on the show. Well, live, you know what I mean, live on the show that Rich Swann also re-signed. So about was reported Eddie did, Falaba, several others. So yeah, great news there. So if Rich Swann is, I'm sure Su Yung is too. Great to see. All right, you guys are gonna just excuse me for a second. I don't know why, but I'm warm. I'm gonna take off my sweatshirt, so just excuse me for a second. I'm not stripping. Don't get excited. This is the only part of my clothing I'm taking off. Settle down, guys. And no, I am not going to compete with International Women's Day. Okay? Just want to put that out there. Not trying to compete. Oh, man. This episode, let me tell you, landing on they had to have known that this episode was going to land on International Women's Day because there was just so much on this episode that revolved around it. Eugene says all the cat calls are coming your way. Oh no, you sick. You're sick. It's just so much wrong with that. Hey, nothing a cat call with this body, baby. Oh my God. Crazy. Let me move a couple things here. Excuse me. There we go. All right. I swear sometimes I'm developing my wife's OCD. Everything has to be in its place. So yeah, so many things wrote to International Women's Day today. And I realize I don't have a lot of women listeners. I think my wife think my wife listens once in a while, so I probably have a hair of a percentage as far as actual women listeners. But just in case I do have some women listeners on International Women's Day, the International Women's Day to you. Um, but yeah, let's, seeing as we're talking about women, let's let the women go first, shall we? Let's talk about all the crazy stuff that happened with women. Number one, let's talk about Melissa Santos doing the Twitch. We'll say commercial breaks in between the segment breaks. It seems like she's still working out the kinks, but overall, from when she started weeks ago, she is doing better. We even had a brief segment pop in the call, excuse me, not dropping the call, but pop in from Don Callis from Japan. He's probably doing double duty. Look at that. Shows up on a Impact Twitch, and then he's on his way to work for New Japan. Man of many hats. Props to him. I'm sorry, we were talking about the women. Wow. So what do we talk about first? Let's talk about Alicia Edwards. I hinted at something a moment ago. Let's talk about Alicia Edwards. She came out, and it sounded like she was starting to maybe announce that she said she's thinking about starting a family and that her contract is coming up soon. So usually along with phrases, you think retirement or possibly stepping away from the circle, if you will, for the time being. Completely understandable. Lots of women do that. They step away to start a family. Some go, whole hog, full bore, whatever you want to call it. Do it all together. Obviously, you can't wrestle when you're pregnant, but we've seen lots of women have kids and go back. Look at and Melissa Santos is a perfect example of that. No, she's not an in-ring performer, but she she does work for Impact Wrestling now, and as a backstage interviewer. Is that the proper term? I believe that's what you call her. Backstage, yeah. She does the interviews, which she does a great job. She works great with the others. I'm just picturing in my head, like, first time back there when they were actually doing it during tapings, and it was very comical, the breaks when they were first doing this a few weeks ago. She has a kid with Brian Cage, and she goes on the road with him a lot. So there's that. I don't know if she take it with or if she has someone watch her kid. I don't know. I don't want to assume. You never assume anything, but there's that. There's women who have had kids and back to wrestling, like Brie Bella or Madison Rain. I know there's got to be others. That's just not off the top of my head. I'm not thinking of any. Well, women do that too. Props to them, So back to Alicia Edwards, Eddie Edwards' wife, talking about possibly starting a family. All of a sudden, in the middle of what was supposed to be an announcement, as a hit squad comes out. And they're just they're just they're like, yes, you should leave here and go back to your home and do housewife stuff, to paraphrase. And I was like, wow. Oh, see, that's really school thinking back in the, say, the first half, I'd say, of century. You heard a lot of that kind of talk. Like women aren't supposed to do anything but cook, clean, and have babies. What's the phrase? Barefoot and pregnant. Um, and obviously in today's society, very different. Men and women have jobs. Hell, some men stay at home with the kids while the mom has a career. We see that too. Um, so they're just like, yeah, women, do this. They shouldn't be here. They shouldn't even wrestle. All that stuff. Down comes Eddie Edwards to defend his wife. Like, how dare you talk to my wife like that? And they jump him. So her little announcement is just out the window now, just hanging in the breeze. We didn't really get to it. So we don't know yet exactly what she has planned. It sounds like she's going to be stepping away from wrestling. Yeah, we don't know. So, like I said, in the world of wrestling, don't assume, because everyone assumes stuff, and then guess what? A couple weeks time, you find out you were wrong. Oh my god! And the Twitter first goes, boom goes the Twitterverse. Hey, Blood Rain is in the chat. What is up? Welcome. Post-act nap was a long day. Yes, sir. I hear you. People were bringing up the go home and be a fan. Man, before Alicia. Oh, man. So, yeah, it's a beatdown from the Desi Hit Squad. So 3-on-1, not cool. And then out to the ring comes Eli Drake. And they're like, yeah, come get you some. Yeah, come join the beatdown, if you will. And he tosses his jacket on top of Eddie in the corner. He's like, oh, I've been waiting to do this for a long time. Yeah, dummy. Not. Kicks all their asses. They retreat. He helps Eddie up and says, hey, think about what we talked about before. I even put it out to my Twitter followers, like from this podcast account, saying, hey, would you like to see Eli Drake and Eddie Edwards as a tag team? I'll ask you guys in the chat, or for those of you who are maybe listening after the fact, audibly, or do you want to see that tag team? Me personally, I say yeah. We've seen both guys do tremendous as a singles competitor. That's what Eli Drake has always been known as. But if Eli's looking for a little not necessarily a push, but something to fans are so, he certainly does have the fans out there. I can tell you, man, I see it on social media all the time. People complaining, oh, they're not doing anything with Eli Drake. He should be. The top thing is Eli Drake should be champ. I said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Not all your favorites can be champ at once. Wrestling fans need to be more patient. I've learned that lesson too. Hell, perfect example. I've been waiting for years for Killer Cross to get some notice. Boom. He's on every week now, folks. Enjoy. I tell you, it's worth the wait. um, Blood Rain in the chat. Davies too. No showing indie dates. Woo. uh, he's right. uh yeah, we'll get to that nod to AEW in a bit. Yes. That was funny. So yeah, do you want to see Eli and Eddie as a tag team? And then there was a little segment later. Even said to Eddie, you got no friends left. You got one guy that wants to tag with you. You might as well. Funny. So we'll see. I would like to see it. Can both guys come out wearing yellow leather jackets? They're priceless. I don't know what it is, but I think of the 80s. Not necessarily Hogan, but I think of the 80s. I think honestly, I think more like Ultimate type, honestly, with the flashy colors. Or maybe no. Who wore the bright leather jackets? Sting. Didn't Sting wore those, I believe. Maybe a little more flashy than just one color, but yeah, that's what I think of when I see those. So so yeah, we'll see if Alicia ever gets to that. And like I said, if Katie Forbes, aka Chloe Hertz from WoW, is coming in, is leaving, hey, that's something positive for Impact Wrestling. It's going back 5+ years when they got rid of all their originals in TNA, they didn't replace them. They let the roster go to shit. But completely different company at that time. Completely different company. Different management, different owners. You got people running the show now that actually are putting a lot of thought, love, and effort into this. So me personally, I'd like to see Katie Forbes on the brand. And if you haven't looked up, I invite you to go look up some of her stuff from Wild Women of Wrestling on YouTube. I know the clips are out there. I was watching them earlier. Like I said, decent in the ring. Obviously her stuff for WoW is a little more character based, but still, I don't think it's too far, honestly, from what you see from her on a regular basis. Maybe a few less ring rats, which don't even get me started on that. I love it. Okay, keep it going with the women here. We got the let's talk about everyone's favorite knockout, or soon to be, let's say, Scarlett Bordeaux. Talking about her debut ring announcement. Who is she going to face? Drum roll, please. Can we get a drum roll? It's going to be Disco. Mr. Glenn Gilberti, please make your way to the change for this intergender matchup. My goodness. Man, I'm shocked. Well, as soon as he came down, or as soon as he got in the ring with her, I was like, okay, I see where this is going. It's going to be an intergender match, and event is in 3 weeks against all odds. And from what I can tell, that's the first match that's actually been made for it. Elbow. Glenn Gilberti, he this is, everything's starting to make sense now. He said something on some podcast a few weeks ago that I wouldn't say it went viral, but people were talking about it. I think it made a couple. I think news pages made mention of it. Don't remember who. I just remember seeing a couple headlines. Got passed around a little. Something about Glenn Gilberti being chauvinistic. I believe right around the time that these tapings were being taped. So a month ago? Something like that. I don't remember the exact words or anything, but something of the effect of him just not being happy with women's wrestling in general. And and it's going to turn heads. That's going to, drop some jaws. That's going to get some fingers shaking. You can't talk like that. How dare you? You're a pig. Okay, well, it's all making sense now. That was giving a little hint, a little preview for what we're seeing here. So people can either go, like they were upset that it was a setup to something like this, or you could be like that guy in the barbershop at Coming to America. Aha. Aha. And if you never saw that movie, then damn, you just made me feel really old. It's an Eddie Murphy movie. Go look it up. Oh, funny as hell. Oh, back before he did Donkey. Oh, dear God. So yeah, he let her have it in the ring, and she slapped him. Gave him 1-4, embarrassed the hell out of him, while Josh Matthews is just standing in the corner with his hands folded, like, oh, like he's like, I know what's coming. I know what's coming. Gilberti leaves then, and she grabs the mic and she says that she's gonna make him bitch. So yeah, props to her in that segment. I mean, it was great. Excuse me, my goodness. That's why I don't drink hot chocolate anymore. Too thick and too sweet. Doesn't mix with a guy like me anyway. Oh well. Excuse me. All right, we continue. One more big women's segment here. And honestly, I thought this was going to headline because they gave us a lot of promotion. Excuse me. The Dark War. Team Su Yung versus Team Mare. We got Su Yung and Allie and an undead maid of honor versus Rosemary, Kira, and Jordan Grace. James Mitchell following Team Su Yung down to the ring for the war. I'm not gonna lie. I dug the lighting. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sure the best for this match, because if you oh, that's very interesting, Blood Rain. I'll get to that in a second. It was just a little hard to follow with the lighting. Like if you and came back and you were trying to figure out who was in the ring, it just because the lighting was like, everything was red. So the definition of people at some of the time was a little hard to focus on. That was just me. It looked off on my TV a little bit. In the chat, and I was going to ask this if you guys knew this. He beat me to the punch. I love you guys. I love you guys. He said the undead bride is Bova. How about that, folks? Wasn't Buggy Nova part of... I know she's been women's independent wrestling scene for quite a while now. But wasn't she brought into WWE developmental for a few years and then let go? I know she had some addiction problems. I'm assuming she got up. But yeah, I was going to ask you guys, who did you think that was? Because she looked a little familiar. I couldn't tell you who it was. I thought it looked a little familiar. I wouldn't have said Buggy Nova, but the last time I saw Buggy Nova, I think she had significantly shorter hair. But that's really interesting. I'm not sure how you knew that, but thank you for the information. That's really cool. She looked great in the ring, In fact, she was the one that took the pinfall and the spear from, reverse the spear and the pinfall from Rosemary. And yeah, how great was it to see Rosemary in the ring again? That was so great. She's been gone for quite a while. And I know she's been wrestling around the independents for the last few months, I believe. Blood Rain, I found it on Discord. Oh, okay. Interesting. Wow. So someone either recognized her or knew and passed it along. Maybe she put it on her social media. But thank you for the tip. That's very cool. So there you go, folks. Buggy No, part of Impact Wrestling. We don't know if she's actually signed. No definitive details. Don't know anything. But maybe that's something that will come out in the days and weeks to come. Maybe it was just part of this taping. Who knows? So yeah, Team Mary wins, if I didn't say that. And they put, this is, anybody watching this match at the wrong time are going to come off with a weird feeling. Not saying that there's anything wrong with this. But at the end of the match, Su Yung was being held back by Reverend James Mitchell. Not the part I'm talking about. I'm talking about what happened in the ring afterwards. So you had the three girls, Kiera Hogan, Jordan Grace, Rosemary, surrounding Allie. Allie's just losing her mind because she lost. Put her in what is that called? A dog collar? And Shane Link, leash. They exit the ring. And Rosemary has her, chain over her shoulder, not dragging her behind, but, she's walking behind her, like taking her for a walk. And I'm just watching this and I'm like, okay, so that's what we're doing. It's just you start you starts wandering and you think of like little bondage cues, and it's like, no, let's not go there. What are they gonna do in the back? I don't know. It just looked, we'll just say that. And then the segment later, they're outside. Kiera Hogan's like, all right, we're not done here. And Rosemary's like, no, this is the part where we separate. We split paths here. And Jordan Grace is like, I'm with her. Let's just a day. And then the segment ends, and then basically telling Kiera Hogan, no, we're not this. We've held up our part of the deal. We helped her win. Now let's let them go their separate ways. Oh, my cat is going to drive me nuts. In a second, I'll be right back. Scratching at the door, really? Come here. You interrupted my podcast. Come here, buddy. Come say hi. Come on. I know why you're up here. But not here. Now you gotta say hi. Say hi to everyone. Say, this is Rocky. Say hi, Rocky. Hi. I know you're in here. You want treats. But guess what? You gotta wait. All right? Doing a show. So there. You had your 5 minutes of fame. Wait. Now watch. He's gonna want out. Want out? We'll do it in a little bit. Okay? Go on. Go play. All right. Sorry about that. Pets. You understand. That's what happens. Anybody coming in right now? Where the hell do you... He has cats. You'll get it. And anybody listening to the audio version of this, dear God, must have the patience of a saint. What is this guy doing? I don't know. So yeah, lots of great women's segments, all revolving around International Women's Day. So yeah, it was great. It really was. As far as putting the focus on women, I think, like I said, the only way they could have made this better was having them headline this with the war match, or Scarlett Bordeaux. I mean, oh, excuse me. We got a Chris Steele show in the chat. What is up? Yes, Against All Odds returns. A while since we've had an Against All Odds. I had to think for a minute. I'm like, wait, was that even a TNA show? I guess it was, wasn't it? So they're going a little old school TNA with that. That's okay. Not a horror. That's not a bad thing. I mean, they didn't. Every show, with the exception of Bound for Glory and Slammiversary, every show title but beyond that has all been new as far as I know. So should have had a Judas Messias cameo. Hey, I would love them to sign his butt back up. He is great. But he's busy down in Mexico right now. As far as I know, he is free and clear of his Lucha Underground contract. All right, let's talk about the rest of the show. Started out the episode with a great Match between Rich Swann and Ethan Page. Man, Ethan Page, bit of a rough start. He's his odds of winning haven't been too great lately. But hey, he still is a tremendous wrestler. I mean, he's one of those guys that I'm so glad he's getting the spotlight he's getting on this show. But he's not winning a lot. Do I want to see him win all of his matches? Absolutely. He's tremendous. But he's kind of earning his way on the show, I guess you could say. I mean, if you're an Ethan Page fan like me, you know how good he is. So yeah, we just gotta wait. I mean, does he have what it takes to be a future champ on the show? Absolutely. Absolutely. In-ring talent and promo skills to boot. I put him up there with Eli Drake. Maybe a slight step under Eli Drake. Put it that way, okay? I think Eli Drake's been a little longer. But this match was great. This wasn't for the X Division Championship as far as I know. Just a match. But Rich Swann winning this one. And there was going to be fallout from the conversation in the middle. You knew it was going to be. Yes, Eugene, he's very talented. You bet. Sammy and OVE come down with the t-shirt. And I was like, here we go. Here's the deciding moment. And I got swerved, as we all did. Whether you wanted him to join OVE or not, for a split second, he was in OVE. And then he dropped them all and ripped off. I mean, he pulled a Hogan. He ripped off the shirt. I'm not going to rip off my shirt. No one wants to see that. But man, oh man, he is not joining OVE. I actually wanted it because I wanted to see if it could become something to, not exactly, but something similar to like an NWO where they're recruiting, It could be like a new, almost like almost like a punk rock version of NWO. You know what I mean? That's what I think of OVE when I see them. They're like a gang, They're rough, they're gritty, but they're so damn talented. So yeah, Swann is not joining. He turns on him, rips off the shirt. So if I had to guess, I think this will turn into an X Division Championship match between Swann and Callahan. And if that's the case, if Swann doesn't bring some backup, I don't think his odds of keeping that champ are too good. I don't think they are. But hey, it's going to be a hell of a match nonetheless. I don't want to assume anything. Can't assume anything right now. So, Blood Rain in the chat, or an AJ Aces and Ale. Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Rich Swann pulled a DDP / NWO. Oh, you guys you guys are thinking. I like that. Very cool. Love my chatters. Those little nuggets of, oh yeah, I see that. Very cool. All right, let's see. This is gonna come around a little bit because we covered all the women's segments first. Here we go. We get the debut of Jake Atlas. You thought I was gonna say Ace Austin. Well, yes, it was the promoted debut of Ace Austin, and he ring with Jake Atlas. Great match. Just a tremendous debut. Austin coming off with a win. Innovative offense. Eerily similar to, I shouldn't say eerily. We'll say such a boring word. Somewhat. But somewhat familiar to, I'm not going to say he's copying him. I'm just going to say some of his offense reminded me of the offense you see like parkour stuff. You could say like Johnny Impact too. Obviously more high flying skills than Johnny Impact. Although Johnny does have a lot of damn high flying skills. So, but yeah, great talent. Addition to the X division. And he beat Jake Atlas. Jake Atlas looked good too. I'd never seen him before. So I gave him a follow on the Twitterverse because I got a feeling that's not going to be the last we see of him on TV. Great little nod to local talent, I'm guessing. I know nothing about the guy, but like I said, I'm sure we're going to see more of him. Finishers called the fold, or the move is a running blockbuster called the fold. The fold as in a card term. You get it. We next get via satellite. These interviews were cracking me up. I can't think of the guy's name. Alex Palladino or whatever his name is. I don't know what that is. Interviewing Johnny Impact. Johnny Impact in a neck brace. Big sad face. Big sad face. Wife Ty at his side. And she's matter of fact. Do you know they're talking neck fusion? Possible neck fusion. You tell him, Taya. You tell him. So damn funny. Ronaldo Martinez. Is that his name? Okay. Real name. Was that his real name? Was it Martinez or Menendez? All right. You guys duke it out. Let me know what the real name is. I know it's one of those two. That sounds pretty damn close. Excuse me. But yeah, little interview. Johnny Impact said he will defend his title. He will give Cage the title shot because he's a man of his word. Blood Rain says, former Impact employee Raphael Morphy. Oh, all right. Interesting. Funny character. Funny character. Getting the scoop. Too funny. GWN flashback. Hardy versus Team 3D versus the Wolves. Back from 5 years ago, September 2014. Crazy match. That Rascals segment was all over the place, crazy. Too damn. Um, was trying to think of the main point of that. They're talking about how they're going to beat the Lucha Brothers, and then Desmond Xavier was holding up of all right, somebody fill in the blank. I didn't write it down. Can't think of the guy's name whose mask that was. Holding up the mask, and then Wentz was freaking out like, is that his face? Is that his face? Kikutaro, thank you. See? Love my chat. They help fill in the blanks with this old senile bastard doing a podcast. Kikutaro. Eugene Evans says, I loved it. Roasted moose. Thank you. Yes, they certainly did. That little interview segment, that was hilarious. Because he had some like pink suit coat, whatever, salmon colored. Yeah, they. Blood Rain says, I'm an old senile bastard too. Ha ha ha. All right. Smash that like button if you're a senile old bastard. Like me. Oh, man. Crazy. Yeah, love these segments. So damn funny and really well produced. And edgy, too. You know, you're not going to see that anywhere else. It's a great part there. In the chat. Hey, what is up? Good evening to you. All right, we talked about the Dark War. Oh, then the Glenn Gilberti segment. In fact, he had a few segments. This one, I don't. Let's see. Just checking my notes here. No, I didn't write down the other one. I put it on social media. I didn't put it on here. He runs into Conan, and then what he thinks is Don Callis' office, and he's, letting him have it. Like you pulled the SOB or says something like that. Turns around, it's not Don Callis, it's Killer Cross. Too damn funny. So then the lights go out, and he's roughing up Killer Cross. Or Killer Cross is roughing up Glenn Gilbert. Dear God, yeah, it's time to wrap. Then there was another segment where he was looking backstage, and he ran into, was it the same? Maybe it was the same segment. He's wandering around backstage and runs into three guys. And before they showed him, he goes, oh, hey, Cody, Matt, Nick, or something like that. He's like, are you guys hiring? And blah, 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 blah. And, and they turn around, and it's, and I got excited for about a half of a second, because I was like, oh my God, were they actually backstage? No. Wasn't Cody and the Young Bucks. But that's one of the running on being the elite, is people run into guys like, Joey Ryan at his bar shows, out in LA, and ask him if they're hiring because they invaded a show or two. Was it two? Maybe it was just, I forget. Maybe it was just one. SCU was there too. Hangman Page. Great stuff. And by the way, I want to see that show. Shit. Wrong tube. Dear God. Died over here. if you want to see that bar show, and it's funny, I've watched it, you can go to the low, get yourself a free month of powerslam.tv. The bar shows are one of the many, many thousands of hours you can see on slam.tv. Cheap plug. I believe the code for the free month is smash this free. I believe that's what it is. So go get yourself some free powerslam.tv. CZW, AAW, Defy, PCW Ultra, all sorts of crazy indie stuff. Women's interviews, shoot interviews, documentaries, good stuff. Ronnie says, the one legend. You are way too kind, dude. Only thing legendary about me right now is my gut. Pretty damn legendary. All right, back to the show. So yeah, Glenn Gilberti run, guys. So we have a brief pseudo AEW executive director cameo, but not really. So it makes you wonder, is this supposed to be some hint that there maybe is going to be a partnership, whatever word you want to put out there? I don't know. I'm hoping. Certainly with the Don Callis, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega connection, I think anything's possible. We'll see. I'm not gonna bank on it, but just the fact teased it is like, maybe we'll see something at one of their bigger coming up or something. Who knows? So, and hey, it's funny that they did the back thing, because if they did a backstage segment, nobody out in the crowd would know it, because it's post-produced segment thrown into the show, similar how they were doing the Killer's debut vignettes. How you knew these were happening. No one from the live crowd knew these things were going on backstage. All these little segments to his debut, including his security officer thing with Petey Williams, which was brilliantly produced, in my opinion. No one knew about that at all. It was all done post-production. So they could do something like that if they wanted. None of us would know about it at all, unless someone said, hey, we saw them backstage. I don't know. It's it's possible. But enough about that. So yeah, crazy stuff with Glenn Gilberti. We still don't know what the hell he's doing. What his true job was. I don't know. Maybe he'll get fired by the end of these tapings. I don't know. It's too damn funny. We talked about the Scarlett Bordeaux thing. We talked about the end of the road with the Dark War thing. Then we have the main event between the Rascals and the Lucha Bros. Absolutely insane match with the Lucha Bros getting the win. Pentagon and Phoenix versus Wentz and so yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna call out any specific moments from the match. Just a lot of insane action. Great tag team stuff. Legit, some of the best tag team wrestling you see on. I mean, I'd say they are the most consistent tag team produced wrestling show currently. Absolutely, bar none. I mean, you do get decent tag team matches out of the WWE once in a while, but it's been very, very inconsistent. That's my point. Okay. Hell, look what's going on this weekend. Xavier Woods didn't even know he had a tag team match coming up until he looked at social media. Whoops. Poor guy. I'm busy making pancakes, looked at his social media. Oh, time to go back to work. Crazy. Wow. Guess they don't have guys like Scott D'Amore and Don Callis in the show. What are you going to do? Not everybody can be, running a show as great as them. Oh, let's see. What else is going on in the chat? Anything here? SCU versus OVE is happening soon. Oh, do tell. Where is this happening? Please tell me. I'll wait. Yeah, it was a definite tease. The guys were all named by first name basis. Yeah. So you knew exactly who they were talking about. The blonde guy in the middle was definitely Cody. Guys with long hair. It was funny. Very, very funny. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you never know where the Young Bucks and Cody are going to show up. Obviously, Cody's rehabbing. The Bucks have slowed down their indie stuff a little bit. They're still recruiting. They're trying to put together that show and stuff. So, but yeah, I'll be keeping an eye out for that. That's certainly worth looking for. SCU versus OVE. Man, that's gonna be hot to check that out. I'm sure the guys are promoting it on their social medias, all over the Twitterverse and whatever. So, so yeah, don't forget, if you didn't catch the whole thing, the replay will be up later on, rantwithant.com. The audio version of this will be available on Wrestle Addict Radio, wherever you listen to podcasts, such as FM, iTunes, and as the podcast family grows in numbers, it is available in more places. It's showing other places like Podbean, I believe. So yeah, be patient, folks. I mean, you can absolutely find it on Anchor and iTunes, but I'm hearing it's starting to pop up in a few other places as well. So as that happens, I'll let you guys know, watch the audio if you know someone who listens to the audio version of this. So that's going to do it for this. We're going to get out of here late. And I have been a little under the weather as well. So I'm going to go catch my beauty sleep because God, I need plenty of that. But yeah, great show. We also got some news on a new match for United We women's match. And also the press release of the show with Impact and Tried and True for the Salute to the Troops happening April 12th. And if you're not going to catch it live, you can catch it on Twitch in May. So that is going to do it for this one, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back. We'll say weather permitting. No, we'll see how I'm feeling tomorrow. We may do some fast lane actions. We'll see. But yeah, we'll be watching that one. Looks like it's going to be an okay show. I know a lot of people different opinions as far as how many shows they squeeze in between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, but there's going to be some fun ones on there. I'm certainly looking forward to. My boys are back, like I said, so apparently Blood Rain is not looking forward to the predictions. Well, that's okay. You can tune in for everything else then, all right? So, and along with that, we got a little package in the mail. We'll do a little mailbag opening tomorrow. So, take care, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Much love and have a tremendous weekend. Much love. Bye-bye.